lady you see here is Ina Canabarro Lucas. She's a nun who lives at a retirement home in southern Brazil. And last year, some officials from LongevaQuest, a group that keeps tabs on super centenarians, met with Lucas and certified her as the oldest living nun in the world and the oldest living person in Brazil. At the time this video was recorded last February, she was 115 and described herself as young, pretty, and friendly. But she had a bit of a title change recently. In late December, Japanese supercentenarian Tomika Ituka passed away at age 116. She was the oldest person on Earth. And what that means is that Lucas, who is now 116 herself, is the true senior superlative. The Reuters news agency reports she's also the 20th oldest person in modern records. She was born on June 8, 1908, before Mother Teresa, Frank Sinatra, and Queen Elizabeth II were born, before the Ford Model T was produced, before the word vitamin existed. I'm Carl Azus for The World from A to Z, your independently produced, unbiased source for news and features, and we're thankful to be starting a new week with you. We had hoped that by today, we would have had better news for you out of Southern California, where the Los Angeles area has been ravaged by several fast-moving wildfires since last week. Authorities said yesterday at least 16 people had been killed. Firefighters have made progress in containing parts of the blazes. That means they've blocked their spread in some areas, but the biggest fires were still largely uncontrolled on Sunday. This report was filed that afternoon.
Multiple fires still raging across much of Southern California. Of the 6 fires that broke out, 4 are still active. Combined, they've destroyed nearly 40,000 acres. Entire communities reduced to rubble. Red flag warnings in effect through Wednesday as wind gusts pick up. The fire danger level is critical for much of the region.
These winds, combined with low relative humidities and low fuel moistures, will keep the fire threat in Los Angeles County very high.
More than 3,000 firefighters are fighting the blazes in Los Angeles County, according to officials. Saturday, 72 fighters from Mexico arriving to help fight the flames. At least 10,000 structures have been damaged or destroyed. Many families now returning to find their homes gone, hoping to salvage whatever they can.
Can't really stand by. The only thing to do is move forward and help others keep what they have.
In Los Angeles County, I'm Lee Waldman reporting.
A world of knowledge. Who was president on March 4, 1913, when the U.S. Department of Labor was signed into existence? William McKinley, Theodore Roosevelt, William Howard Taft, Woodrow Wilson. Just before his term ended and President Wilson's began, a reluctant President Taft signed the bill that created the department.
That department releases its so-called jobs report on the first or second Friday of every month. The reason it matters is because it's considered one indicator of how the U.S. economy as a whole is doing. The jobs report looks at hiring and unemployment for the month before, so the one that just came out is for December, and it indicated that 256,000 jobs were added in America at that time. That's significantly more than the 165,000 additions that some economists expected. The report's considered a good sign for the economy. In another one, the unemployment rate, the percentage of American workers who don't have a job, that decreased slightly from 4.2% in November to 4.1% in December. The government can and sometimes does revise these numbers in the weeks after they come out. And though unemployment's relatively low, not all employees are happy in the jobs they have.
Many workers across the country are feeling a little stuck.
Employees are feeling overworked, undervalued, underpaid.
According to Gallup polling released in December, people are looking for new jobs at the highest rates in nearly a decade. But in a cooling labor market, along with a low unemployment rate, there's fear those opportunities may not be there.
The time between jobs for people to find a job after they lose a job is pretty high. It's 23.7 weeks on average. And that's a pretty scary number.
Gallup refers to this shift as the Great Detachment, and it's causing frustration for employers too.
18% of people in their latest report are actually engaged at work. So that means you've got 82% of your people as an employer who are saying, not feeling it.
On this date in world history. Two events from Italy kick off this segment. The first was on January 13th, 1915, when a catastrophic earthquake struck central Italy, completely destroying the town of Avezzano. Its magnitude was recorded at 6.7, but its intensity was extreme, and historians say about 30,000 lives were lost. The second event involved a cruise ship, at the time the biggest one in Italy. On January 13th, 2012, the Costa Concordia collided with a rock or a reef right next to the Italian island of Giglio. The ship lost power and listed to the side, and though more than 4,200 passengers and crew were rescued, 32 lives were lost, and the captain was found guilty of his role in the accident and for not taking appropriate action soon enough. And stateside, this was the date in 1966 when President Lyndon Johnson nominated Robert C. Weaver to serve as Secretary of Housing and Urban Development. That was historic because Weaver was the first African American ever nominated to a cabinet-level job, and the Senate confirmed him to it 4 days later.
The new year brought all things new in tech to Las Vegas this week. CES 2025 coming to a close Friday after a showcase of robots.
It sounds like you're describing something interesting. Could you tell me more about it?
Like Enchanted Tool's social robot, a possible helper in hospitality and healthcare.
Technology can be more than useful. Technology can bring smile.
And Roborock's robot vacuum with a grabby arm that will pick socks up off the floor. And the Nekajita Fufu, which sits on a cup, blows air, and cools a steaming drink. For those sensitive not to heat but to salt, Kieran's electric salt spoon sends an electric current to the tongue to give low-sodium foods more flavor. And at the heart of many featured devices, AI, assisting the brisket grill with recipes and perfect cooking temperatures.
The food that comes off the grill will be delicious and great to eat.
Powering Wonder's nature camera Petal, identifying flowers and insects in home gardens.
Almost think of it as chatting with nature, right?
And in Bosch's Revel Crib, keeping tabs on a baby's vital signs and rocking a child who can't sleep. Many products on the floor aren't on the market yet, and that's why Bridget Carey, editor-at-large for CNET, says CES gives that glimpse into what the future could look like.
This is really a place where you see where the big pitches for the future. It never is the kind of thing that you see in a store tomorrow.
So drivers not quite ready for a solar-powered vehicle like Aptera's EV still have some time. In Las Vegas, I'm Karen Kafa.
What day is it?
Today is Poetry Break Day, when people are encouraged to set aside time and reflect on lines like, I must go down to the seas again, but the call of the running tide is a wild call and a clear call that may not be denied.
Today is also a day to recognize some of those watching our show, starting in the Asian Republic of Georgia. We're happy to see Mr. Crawford's class there at QSI International School in the capital of Tbilisi. Miss Halstead's class is next. From St. Louis, Missouri, a warm welcome to Long International Middle School. In Colorado, we're calling on Mr. Yantis' class. Horizon Middle School is in Colorado Springs, and the Marines are also here from Wisconsin. Big hello to Mr. Smith's class watching from Marinette High School in Marinette. Generally speaking, loose cats and interstate highways are a bad combo. Passers-by and police agreed when a terrified kitty somehow got stranded on a dividing wall on the Fuller Warren Bridge in Jacksonville, Florida. The officer carefully approached the animal, picked it up, and safely carried it to the patrol car. It was meowing a lot, but otherwise seemed docile. The cat was reportedly adopted the very next day and named Fuller in honor of the bridge where it was rescued. Glad it yielded to the officer. I mean, all signs showed that a right or left turn would have been the wrong way, and if it had tried to make a roundabout express exit, the toll could have been an end one way. We don't know what kind of detour led the animal to such a bad rest area, but we're thankful the danger passed it because all cats should be closed to through traffic. I'm Carl Azus, signaling the end of today's The World from A to Z. Please ride with us again tomorrow. You mean the world to me.